I am continuing my reading here, and what I'm doing in this series is read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Quite a lot as I move along. Right now, I am still in Joshua. This is chapter 5. Inhabitants of Canaan fear Israel. Males of Israel are circumcised. Israel keeps the Passover, eats fruit of land, and manna ceases. Captain of the Lord's host appears to Joshua. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan, which were on the side Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel, until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was there spirit in them any more, because of the children of Israel. At that time the Lord said unto Joshua, Make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way, after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way, as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not shew them the land, which the Lord sware unto their fathers, that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. Gilgal means rolling. Interesting. So what's going on here is that, as it says, it's very simple. When they came out of Egypt, remember the law of circumcision was given to Abraham as a sign of the Abrahamic covenant. And everybody from Abraham on down was circumcised. When they came out of Egypt, they were all circumcised. Moses had to circumcise his sons a little later. But when they came out of Egypt, they were all circumcised. But while traveling in the wilderness for 40 years, no new children were being circumcised. So he had 40 years of people being born and dying and all that, no circumcision. So now God is saying, okay, now that we're in the land of Canaan, you got to get circumcised. You got to take on that mark of the covenant. And at that point, that's when God finally says, okay, now the influence of Egypt is gone. That's what he says, roll the reproach of Egypt from you. Now there's no more evidence of Egypt. The influence of Egypt is gone. Let us continue though. Verse 10. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month, at even in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked up, and beheld, there stood a man over against him, and his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him, and said unto him, Art thou for us, or for our adversaries? And he said, Nay, but as captain of the host of the Lord am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my Lord unto his servant? And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so. So I do want to say, they say it is now called Gilgal because of this, but I'm pretty sure it's been called Gilgal earlier in the scriptures. So this is, again, an indication. A lot of these scriptures were written after the fact, or, Moses wrote a lot of this, like in Genesis. Moses was writing it during the time of the Exodus, while they were in the wilderness for those 40 years. And so he's using current names to his own period, own time, in referencing back to these times. So sometimes he uses the ancient name, sometimes he uses the current name. It gets a little confusing that way. But now they have their Passover feast, the first Passover in the land of Canaan. And as soon as they have their Passover, the manna that they have been receiving from heaven stops coming. Now they have to live off the land, because now they are in Canaan. Finally, after 40 years, they are finally in Canaan. But then Joshua sees this man, and he goes to talk to him, and the guy introduces himself as the captain of the host of the Lord. So who was he? It doesn't really say who he was. I think he's one of two people myself. This is just me. Now, maybe I'll look in the Institute manual, see what they have to say about it. But just reading from this, I would say it's either Adam appearing as Michael, although he would not be as a resurrected person, because he would be Adam's dead. He was a spirit at this point. Or it is Jesus Christ himself, who was also known at other times as the Lord of hosts. So, but Michael is traditionally the captain of the armies of God. But whoever it is, the next chapter we're going to get their conversation between Joshua and this captain of the Lord's host. And so we'll leave it there, and I'll probably talk a little bit about the captain of the Lord's host in the next video, because that's when we really get to know him. See you in the next one.